Things are going wrong for a lot of people on Ozempic. Welcome back to the JP Rex channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out lies, hypocrisy, and corruption and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters because truth conquers, but you can't conquer anything if you're weak. Luckily, here to help us get strong is Ancestral Supplements grass-fed beef liver. Did you know beef liver is nature's multivitamin? Makes your metabolism fast, energy high, and cravings low. It's time to get healthy. It's time to get strong with beef liver. Get yours at ancestralsupplements.com/JPReacts and use discount code JPReacts for 15% off. Now you know about the popular drug Ozempic, people using it to lose weight. Of course, it was developed as a drug to help treat type 2 diabetes, which obviously is a very serious condition, and people using it for things that are not that condition. Things are going wrong with them. Things, definitely side effects when you're using it on label, but certainly off label. Some things are going wrong. Principally, here's my take on it outside of the using it for type 2 diabetes. I'm not a doctor, but I identify as a doctor, so it's my truth. Take this as medical authority. Please don't. People aren't using Ozempic the way it was designed. People are using it as a treatment for laziness. We see it all over Hollywood. You probably know people that might be a little bit closeted on their Ozempic use. So you probably know people in your life that are using it as a crutch to lose weight when they could use discipline and effort to improve their nutrition and exercise regularly. So the way it's being used when it's off label, which is a lot of its use, it's a treatment for laziness. And a lot of things are going wrong. We'll get into it in a second. Well, it's shocking. But first, let's peruse how some Hollywood folks are looking before Ozempic and after. See if you can detect a little malnourishment. Here you see someone. I don't know who that is. Okay, now we're looking good. Skeletor. Is that Jennifer Lopez? How you doing on P. Diddy's list? She's looking, probably just lost all that weight from stress, worry. I am on the tapes. Please. So you can see the face is much less full. This is a weight loss drug, and it's also a simultaneous malnourishment drug. You know, it's good to be a healthy body weight. I'm actually overweight compared to normal health standards, but nonetheless, it's good to be at a healthy body weight or above if it's lean tissue. But there's something when someone loses weight, you can see it in their face. You're like, that doesn't look healthy. It's a lot of what we're seeing here. Okay. What is that? Oh, there we go. Ozempic, ladies and gentlemen. Ozempic, ladies. And by the way, a lot of lip filler too. Now, those are visual side effects, and we'll get into some like internal side effects that are absolutely shocking. And there's lawsuits against the makers of Ozempic. Hollywood people that you just saw, I would guess that they think they look better, and they definitely don't look better. You and I have what's called vision. We can see there's a reality, like they don't look better. Yeah, they look slimmer, but they look much worse. I think much like Hollywood type people who are on a bunch of Botox. It's like, does this make me look younger? No, it makes you look deformed. It makes you look like you are riddled with Botox. You don't look younger. You look like an old person who's an alien that's trying to look younger. You don't look better. You look much worse. You look different. You don't look better. You don't look younger. You look like you're Botoxed to the gills. And I think they probably have the same delusional mindset when they go on Ozempic. Don't I look good? I haven't been able to digest food, absorb nutrients for months. I wonder why my metabolism is slowing down. My body's in a state of survival. I don't know. I guess this is how you lose weight because I don't want to go to the gym. Now, there's a model named Lotte Moss who went on Ozempic and then was rushed to the hospital. She's got a little bit of a warning about this miracle weight loss drug.
Ozempic. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I definitely tried it. When I tell you it was the worst decision I ever made. So if this is a warning to anyone, please, if you're thinking about doing it, do not take it. Like, it's so not worth it. I took it for 2 weeks and I've never felt so sick in my life. I felt so sick one day. I'd said to my friend, like, I can't keep any water down. I can't keep any food down, like no liquids, nothing.
Well, I can't keep any food or water down. Sounds like you're losing a lot of weight.
I need to go to the hospital. Like, I feel really sick.
Now, that's someone who was on it for 2 weeks. There's an interesting Twitter thread before we get back to some more shocking news around the internet about Ozempic. This was posted by Gabe Pluguez on Twitter. The deadliest drug in the world, Ozempic. While celebrities are calling it the miracle weight loss drug, behind the hype lies a different story. Here's what it really is, why you should never take it, and what you should do instead. What is Ozempic? It's a semaglutide drug designed for type 2 diabetes. It helps regulate blood sugar by mimicking a hormone that slows digestion and reduces appetite. However, celebrities are using it off-label and non-celebrities for rapid weight loss, often spending thousands of dollars per month to maintain their sleek physiques. Sounds amazing, right? But there's a catch. Why Ozempic is dangerous. It's hailed as a weight loss miracle. Reports show, however, severe side effects from nausea and vomiting to pancreatitis and thyroid cancer. More on that in a minute. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, my friend, I want to let you know Bond Charge is having their blowout Black Friday sale starting now, where you get 25% off all Bond Charge products. And that includes their amazing red light therapy devices. In my life, I'm using the Supermax red light full body panel all the time and the red light face mask. Recently, you might have heard both Joe Rogan and Dana White raving about red light therapy. A lot of people have seen Dana White just absolutely reverse his aging process. He's gotten so healthy, and he attributes red light therapy to be one of the major factors that have helped him turn his health and his aging process around. The anti-aging effects of red light therapy on the skin alone are massively impressive, so much so that I've started to incorporate using the red light face mask because I'm 43, I'm getting older, but that doesn't mean we've got to look older as we get older. There's a reason why the biohacking community has been raving about red light therapy, and there's never been a better time to bring it into your health routines with Bond Charge's Black Friday 25% off deal. To take advantage of it now, go to bondcharge.com/JPReacts and use code JPReacts to save 25% off on all their products. Once again, that's bondcharge.com/JPReacts. And for the Black Friday 25% off special, use discount code JPReacts25. Enjoy. Now back to the video. Dependency. Many users regain weight and more when they stop taking them. Well, duh, you've just slowed your metabolism down. Unknown long-term effects. Ozempic hasn't been studied for long-term use in healthy individuals. We're in a pandemic of obesity. We've got to rush this in. Like, what long-term effects? I don't know. It's not profitable. It's definitely not profitable to study that. So here it is. And it's also worth noting, counterfeit versions of semaglutides are flooding the market, leading to hospitalizations and deaths, as is the actual drug. When a quick fix becomes a deadly crutch, it's time to rethink their approach. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no cure for laziness other than discipline and consistent effort. So let's just remember that. Now let's check in to see how the class action lawsuits against Ozempic are going.
Proposed class action lawsuit has been filed in BC, alleging the Canadian manufacturer of the drug didn't warn prospective patients about possible complications, as CTV's Shannon Patterson reports.
That is not like a pharmaceutical company to just not warn people about side effects. By the way, I'm all about freedom, as you know. So if someone wants to take Ozempic and they're fully aware of the side effects, the risk reward, whatever, that's all their discernment. Totally cool. If someone wants to cut their legs off as a way of losing weight, I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not going to do it to myself. But if someone wants to, principled on freedom, they can do that. However, there needs to be informed consent when it comes to medicine and pharmaceuticals. It appears as though the makers of Ozempic aren't so much on the informing side to create informed consent. As we've seen, there have not been, and we'll see more, there have not been long-term studies on side effects, nor has the drug ever been studied at all with regard to people taking it off-label who are not type 2 diabetic.
Lawsuit is claiming severe side effects for some patients.
The first time Tracy Nygaard took Ozempic to treat her type 2 diabetes, she knew something was wrong.
She was taking it on label.
I was very sick the next day. My stomach hurt so much. I had pain and bloating and vomiting.
Ozempic was effective at controlling Nygaard's blood sugar, so she kept up with the once-weekly injections. But the side effects persisted.
So one of the reactions that I had, I did go to the ER. I said, I can't handle this anymore.
We got to up your dosage then.
We've already heard from dozens of Canadians who've reached out to us and reported that they believe that they fall within the class definition, that they took Ozempic or one of these other drugs and then subsequently experienced some of these severe gastrointestinal or gallbladder-related issues.
We need to create some immunity for these Ozempic manufacturers, just like a certain thing kind of thing, right? You know? Now, it's one thing if an individual is type 2 diabetic, which from doctors I listen to is something that is controllable and even reversible through lifestyle factors. But nonetheless, it's one thing for a type 2 diabetic to take Ozempic because the risks when you're a state of type 2 diabetes are quite high. It's really a devastating health condition to find yourself in. So taking a drug with risks to treat a condition that has a lot of risks, that might make sense on an individual's discernment. However, someone who doesn't have type 2 diabetes, taking a drug because they want to lose weight, because they're not going to the gym consistently and eating right, taking a drug that has a lot of risks, those risks are potentially way out of proportion to the upside. Let's hear more on that.
If you're currently taking Ozempic, you need to stop. One, there is no research on a person that is not diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, okay? There's literally zero research. They haven't done any trials on all the long-term side effects for someone that is not diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Well, if they haven't done any clinical research on it, then it means there's been no negative side effects discovered, right?
But they did do trials for individuals with type 2 diabetes, and guess what? There are a lot of side effects that come with this drug.
Let's hear them.
Behind my screen, and I'm going to show you because I'm going to talk about the few side effects that you cannot see. I'm going to put it right here. This is on Ozempic's website, but guess what? It's this really small link because I really don't want people to know that there's long-term side effects besides just, nausea and constipation. So starting off with number one, and again, I'm going to put it here. There is a risk of thyroid C cell tumors.
Thyroid cancer, it's a risk that the manufacturer actually lists.
You can get tumors from this drug. Number two, pancreatitis.
It's a big one.
Next one, diabetic retinopathy complications. Retinopathy is your eyes. So you're having complications with your sight, which can literally lead to blindness. Over here, right there, it says acute kidney injury. So you're literally killing your kidneys as well because you're not able to filter out everything that you're putting in your body, so your kidneys start to fail.
That's great. I've also read reports of people having permanent diarrhea, as in lifelong, because their digestion is so messed up from just short-term use of this drug.
Cardiovascular death.
Cardiovascular death. Well, will I look good in my casket? No, you'll look horrible, skinnier, but horrible, and definitely dead. All right, sign me up. Is there more on this? Novo Nordisk, the maker of Ozempic and Wegovy, have been hit with dozens of lawsuits from patients who suffered stomach paralysis after using the drugs. Patients told DailyMail.com they weren't warned about the risks, which left some with lifelong injuries, and attorneys said thousands more lawsuits will be filed. So there's the thing about informed consent. If you're informed what the negatives could be and you choose to do it, that is 100% on you. But if a pharmaceutical company maybe misplaces some paperwork and tries real hard to not know something that they have knowledge of, then you're not dealing with informed consent. And we've seen this pattern, believe it or not, multiple times with pharmaceutical companies. Now, it's one thing to hear from just anybody on the internet because anybody can truly say anything, and it truly is a beautiful thing. It's called free speech. But let's check in with Dr. Peter Attia, who's very well respected. When during a recent podcast, he was asked his opinion about Ozempic.
I do worry when I see people who are showing up to our practice who say, I got a wedding in 6 weeks. I got to lose 10 pounds. Put me on this drug.
What are the long-term worries that you have? And this could just be a generalization. Like if somebody is maybe not a pure health candidate that's doing it because they want to tighten up that 10 pounds or 20, like what do you see as the long-term risk?
That's part of the problem, Michael. I don't think we know. And that's the problem I have with really being able to tell my patients, like, this is a lifelong strategy. And that's what I say to patients as well. I'm like, look, I think there's probably a net benefit to you doing this in the short term. So let's give it a shot.
Short term meaning?
Let's do this for a year. I think what I'm limited by is the duration of the studies.
So you can see Dr. Peter Attia doesn't sound like he's completely against it, yet he's got caution based on the limitation of the studies. Kind of weird how a pharmaceutical company, all they can do is just not do long-term studies, and then we don't know. Maybe a decent business model. I'm not sure. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the core principles of being a free sovereign being is taking self-responsibility. Now, I know when someone is out of habit with discipline, they're eating junk, there can be deep psychological issues, creating self-sabotage patterns, and that can be a vicious cycle to break. However, we're not here to be limited by our limitations, and while I have compassion for being in a tough place, we do know that ultimately taking self-responsibility and not using something as a crutch, not using something trying to cure our laziness, cure our deep psychological patterns of self-sabotage, we know that that can't have long-term benefit to our whole being. Only self-responsibility can. So with that said, I'm certainly skeptical of any pharmaceutical company, let alone a drug that comes out that just takes the world by storm without long-term studies, and it's not even being prescribed on label. So I've got skepticism. You think what you want. In the meantime, I'm going to be going to the gym consistently. I'm going to be eating whole foods and lots of beef liver. So with that said, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video, potentially without that speech impediment that I just developed. Is that a side effect of Ozempic? I'm not even taking it. Other people getting it? My Ozempic won't work unless you're on Ozempic too. That's a good business model. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, stay disciplined.